I'm in the dark over here. This is the reviews channel blog's 700th episode on the channel. The other channel has 310 some episodes. We have 700, and yeah, it's tonight. 700th episode. This goes up before the Corrosion of War, because the second episode, because that's still in production on the being rendered. Yeah, I gotta put in the visuals from the movie, and of Corrosion of War Without End is not directly ours anyway. It's based on a script by Robert Powers, who I didn't know, who was a Transformers Mush, all Transformers Mush person from years ago. Yeah, his stuff aired on in the Transtech magazine, which was not for profit. It was just an archive, basically. Mush. It was taken down with the loss of the original, Olivia Katz channel, I believe in 2013 or so, when it went down, and that was the end of that archive. But there was a backup of the archive. Mark's cards and I found disc backup archive. We were able to find all those scripts and dig them out. And some of these are actually good. They're fun to do a movie. The reviews channel started officially doing reviews alongside the other one when it was restored around 2011, 2012, which is why it says 2007 and then 2012. There were a lot of stuff that was taken off of the other one and put on it, and then switched back. Some of them on Location Cats, some of them SAP Productions. So yeah, there was a lot of cross-pollination. Basically, it's a blog. Yes. So up here, I have a little bit more range, but I'm still sitting on a bed, which is weird. So yes, both channels got to 300 views, 300 videos, I should say, a short time ago. This one reached 600 sometime in late 2017, 2018, and we had a whole slew of other ones, apparently 100 of them, between late 2017 and early 2018 and now. Yeah, we've been doing lots of movie reviews. More than Stone Gremlins has done. More movie reviews each time. But during the lockdown for the COVID virus, hopefully we don't get demonetized. Even though we're not monetized, they'll somehow demonetize it anyway for mentioning the COVID. Apparently they're trying to moratorium on that. There's a bunch of them locked in the studio. And, but yeah, can't do any outside movie reviews right now, but I've got plenty in my collection. So yeah, 700 episodes. Yeah, the channel was most popular with some of its reviews of Transformer toys. So at one point in 2017, I think it was, we opened a bunch of them on the air. Thought we would get more ratings for opening a bunch of them. Nobody watched the videos. We even opened another Jetfire and nobody watched it. Yeah, so, but they were watching the movie videos. In fact, the recent Parasite video has gotten a lot of views. The movie Parasite. Yeah, so, I don't know why. It wasn't that great a review. But yeah, it's weird that the fickleness of different reviews come out and people watch them. We had on the other channel, we had a discussion. It wasn't a review really. It was a discussion and deconstruction of Star Wars, the latest Star Wars movie with Kal Kat and Cards. First Cards is locked up in his place across town. But we did this Star Wars thing like a couple months ago, and it's got a few views, but it really hasn't improved the other channel, which does the Kal Kat show, currently in the 12th season. Say what about the movie channel, other than, yeah, we did a lot of videos. But yeah, it's the quirky ones are not really the more visible ones. That's the case with the music videos as well on the other channel. The songs you'd think would go viral, like the ones that are the most quirky and weird and like twisted, like Kal Kat, pipe organ cat song should go viral, has appeared on other channels saying, oh, this guy must be on dope or he's crazy or something. Has appeared on other channels with them getting more ratings and going viral. But for some reason on this one, they don't notice it. Even though that's where it originated here. Although some elements of YouTube does, some of our other satellite channel stuff does get out there. The Per Beast, for instance, from the Chimera videos was one of the viral ones over there on Starship Chimera, but someone else found it, posted it on their channel, it went viral there. It got the attention of the Lego Movie people, and so they included a Per Beast and referred to him as that in the Lego Ninjago movie, and it was a striped cat, and it was terrorizing the Lego town. So yeah, they're clearly watching my channel. I guess they thought the other channel had done it. No, it was me. Actually, it was impromptu. It was Houdini. He was a kitten, and he hopped onto the set with the Star Trek figures and Mark's cards, or the character as the Eon, the space god, and he was all like, "Arr, the Per Beast, he's magical. He's here to serve us with his adorable cuteness. Oh, save us all." Yeah, it's like it's clearly a Kal Kat thing. Really obviously a Kal Kat thing. The Katy Perry Roar parody also was popular. The California Cats kind of is another Katy Perry one. Yeah, and the Miley Cyrus one got flagged years ago for being a Miley Cyrus video. Apparently, the people owning Miley Cyrus didn't like a Can't Be Tamed video parody. They didn't like that, so they flagged it. Yeah, the people doing La La Land didn't like the review, flagged it. Or somebody didn't like it. Yeah. Now on the internet, what's different about bullying on the internet is you can actually block bullies and trolls on the internet and not read their crap. They come onto you and they're like and they've like false flag your channel or something. You can just block them and you know, disparaging comments. You know, you don't have to. You know, like there was this other blog called Jason Colavito's Ancient Aliens Reviews. It's another blog. It's not me. It's another blog. Go there as someone else, as Cal, commenting on there, and they're constantly at each other's throats. And finally, they decided that they're gonna moderate it. He's gonna cut out all the disparaging remarks, like he should have been doing to begin with. He said he shouldn't have to, but he has to. I don't. It was like, yeah, why? I don't know why people think it's cool to go onto other people's videos randomly and troll them. Even some of the news video things, the Young Turks, they constantly get these bots on the Young Turks channel that are like obviously like no content fake bots with weird names like The Guy or something, or Thomas Smith or something, and it's like a made-up name, and it's obviously like nobody, it's a bot. And there's all these names pop up, and they're like, and they'll say some horrible thing, and then they'll like disappear, and you flag them and pop up again later. And it's yeah. As an example, I'm sure that I don't watch the Fox blog, but they probably have the same thing there. But yeah, you can totally block the trolls unless they flag you. Yeah, and I do movie reviews. I've had comments about the movie reviews regarding content. Not bad comments, but comments as to why I don't show footage and clips from the movies, like, you know, somebody like Red Letter Media, or somebody like which shows trailers and then the movie talks about it. They have the movie studios have crunched down on the reviewers doing that with newer movies, which is why you don't see that as much. Which is why Red Letter Meter for a while would really disguise it and put a tape box around it. Or they do a lot of older movies. Now, I'm not associated in any way with Red Letter Media. It'd be cool to be on their show and show them the Milpitas Monster. It'd be awesome. But I haven't done that. But, okay, yes. Continuing the 700th episode of the reviews channel. Pretty much reiterating some of the other stuff from before. I think I was talking about Ancient Aliens and Trolls and how they moderated it. Well, I moderate the channel profusely, which is probably why you don't see a lot of comments, because I've deleted them. So I don't keep the comments that are troll, and no one else has to either, frankly. If anybody gets a troll comment, they should have a moderator that just takes the troll stuff down. I mean, why is bad publicity, negativity a thing that they need to put on their channel? They don't need to do that. Take it off. And it really pisses off the trolls when they just don't get any say. They can go elsewhere and do their own stuff. And it's just like the trolls to do that too. They like to they don't like that. They want to have their like ridiculous rants somewhere, anywhere, all over the internet so they can be seen. They don't want to create their own content. They just want to go and bug other people about their own content. Yeah, so I guess what the various lockdowns things and virus things in progress, and they're probably going to cancel all of the convention dates for the foreseeable summer, I would imagine. Which is, yeah, so you won't be able to see the Kal Kat show on convention dates. But a lot of these channels' ratings have gone up because they have a lot of other channels, because they're all indoors. They're not doing anything else but watching YouTube videos. Yeah, YouTube stock should be high at this point in time. Yeah, so, yeah. YouTube stock. That's it. Sure, yeah, so, yeah, 700, I keep saying that. But yeah, I went in, I'm going to grab some footage for the Transformer movie of some space stations for the Decepticon ship. I have not yet found a proper one that looks cool and yet old and menacing. So yeah, and robotic. But that has nothing to do with this. Yeah, so yeah, 700. It's interesting how all of the a lot of the news pundits, except for the major news networks, Fox, NBC, and NBC to a certain extent, CNN, they remain on the air with their people in the studio. So apparently they got some kind of moratorium that tells them, oh, you can't leave the studio. You have to keep filming programs from in here, which is, they must have something up, because otherwise they should be locked down, unless of course they don't take the virus seriously and they don't care. So they're just gonna go the news thing and report. Yeah. But yeah. It's yeah, but that would be a rant for another time, I guess. Not for the 700th video. Yeah, so mainly we do reviews. We don't really do. We did cover the 2016 election. It's unlikely that we'll be covering the 2021, because yeah, it's not likely unless something like changes the switches on the other foot, and somehow it looks like all of this mess with the public has backfired on the Trump administration. Then it might be reason enough to film it, or talk about it, or discuss it. Yeah, we won't actually have footage from it, because we can't show news footage from it on the channel. That was what I was also saying about movie footage and stuff. Yeah, if you play a lot of clips, they flag you on YouTube, which is why the channel is just a blog in a room with a guy talking. And there's plenty of those. Even Stone Gremlins does that. They're in a car, usually. But yeah, I don't know them either. Yeah, and I've said before that the connections of the channel awesome. Connections were, yeah, I said what that was before. So, don't need to say that again. That was just a couple conventions. But yeah, don't know them. Yeah, so this is the 700th episode. Keep watching the channel, like and subscribe. We don't have a Patreon. We are not profit. We do not have monetization. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll see how that holds out. Yeah, so we don't have a Patreon or anything like that. Do blogging because I like to do blogging. That's the only reason. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't have to be a long episode, does it? And considering that other stuff that isn't going to happen necessarily because of the lockdown. Yes, but what I can do is lots of Transformer videos because I can do those right here. And they might there might be complaining trolls. They might say, "Well, how could you make your staff work on a Transformer movie in the house?" And it's like, yeah, well, that's easy because yeah, it's just me doing most of them, and then any voiceovers is farmed in. So yeah, we don't have any staff on the movie. You can just film them and then phone it in, so to speak. So yeah, we don't have a hired staff. We kind of have a staff. We have a staff. Anyway, so yeah. So that is 700th movie. 700th video thingy. I'll do movie reviews of other things. So I watched the 17 minutes of footage I had here. I'm not padding it out. It isn't the usual video where there's a ramble blog at the end. A lot of the later critical review movie reviews have been like that. It's a ramble cut off. Just cut the ramble off. This doesn't have that because it's not a movie review. But it didn't really have an ending. Yeah, it's cool. It's great that we have that after it's 2007, 13 years. That we've got like the finally have this cool video thing, and people sort of notice it. I know that even though we don't have a lot of subscribers, you might see the channel go like, oh, there's only like 83 subscribers. But when I go to conventions, we're noticed. The channel is noticed. They figure it's bigger than it appears, because it keeps getting. We keep getting like mean troll people who keep trying to block it. Even though it's probably never studios, it's probably bots, mean people. Because really, I wouldn't think the studio that produced something like La La Land would really have cared. Because about a movie poster that was in the background, briefly, that movie was like, yeah, almost got the Oscar, but didn't, because they weren't being given the wrong card. Yeah, but it's... but it's like there's no way that was an issue with them. Yeah, so there's other things like that. The Miley Cyrus video that can't be tamed. A few others, and not so much anymore. Maybe now with them going after videos about the COVID virus, they'll flag that. Although the Talking Pointless video is just merely me walking around outside for 20 minutes. And it isn't really, today, it isn't really anything that's in any way it's supposed to be informative. It's just like comedy video guy goes outside. It's funny that nowadays comedian talk show hosts and stuff are Colbert and Trevor Noah and them are just out. I haven't heard from Jon Stewart lately. Then they're all out and they're like in their house or they're like in their study or something, which is kind of like the Scott Manley character or the other ones, and kind of like so Gremlins would be anyway. A lot of them do blogs from their house. There's What Culture doesn't, but then What Culture did a special, which it showed them in their houses because they were being locked down, even in England, wherever they're filming that. So they were out of their studio. But even the little YouTube channels are not doing full content. Which is why we're able to do a Transformer thing, because I'm able to do that in here, might as well. Yes, it doesn't have the panache quite of it being a Marx Card's Kal Kat production, because it doesn't have quite the... But it's very similar to something I would have done on my own as a teenager. It's very much a throwback to that. The finished film is, finished. Each episode is bizarre. The script, very much something like I would have written, but it isn't mine. It's Rob Power's character. It's Andy Weir at the convention, the Martian guy, the Martian writer. He's not really Martian, he wrote The Martian. Pointed out that people don't steal other people's fan fiction. And we're not stealing the fan fiction. We're saying that unless they're famous, we're taking the fan fiction, giving them credit for the Transformers thing. Saying like, oh, Rob Powers came up with the story. But also, Generation 2 was called War Without End, so that's really not his to keep either. It's the characters he uses. So a few of his characters do appear. Vice, for instance, appears. But yeah, so there is a character of him in there. One of them, played by a thundercracker from Michael Bay. Yeah. Yeah, nothing about Transformer video. This is the latest thing going on. And yeah, it's cool that we're doing a 700th video, but unfortunately, we can't have the whole cast in here and the producers and have them talk about the 700th video. They're in somewhere else. So, but yeah, it's 700th. And we'll do other movie reviews. There's a cheesy 60s sci-fi movie in the queue there. I'll have to watch that. I've also sent for some other cheesy movies from a collection. I cannot show pictures from either. But when I get them, I will review them as well. One of them is Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Yes, 5 other people have done it this week. I'm going to do Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I remember that one and the Miami, the Miami Connection, but the other one, and both of them, and Multiple Maniacs, John Waters, Blu-ray DVD release. I know that Brandon, I don't know Brand, but Brandon Tenold of Canada did just recently Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I commented in my thing, and the Red Letter Media did it like back in 2013. So, about when this channel came back, same time, coincidence. This channel is as old as Channel Awesome. Same year, 2007. But not nearly as popular. Channel Awesome has millions of views. They didn't lose all of their views. They still have millions. They lost 20,000 people, and then eventually 50,000 people, but then more of them came back, so that's not a lot. Now, with the COPPA law, they did lose some subscribers and some subscriptions. Disappeared. Even though I did not break the COPPA law, my videos were not for kids, so they never were. And they weren't monetized. Yeah, so it was mainly the bots that were not for children that were And all of these Transformer fan sites got flagged too for that. But they're just reviews of toys. Harmless. You can Google the Freaking Geek, for instance, who does reviews of Transformers. Has a shtick at the end with little sketches and characters. Of which there's a character that pays homage to him in Corrosion as well. Because he's one of the original Mush people as well. Also, the Transformers Mush is not completely gone. If you want to find the remnant of it, I should probably mention that before I go. I'm going to end this right here. But if you want to check out other versions of all Transformers Mush, I believe that Rob Powers himself has a website. You can Google it, where you can read his stories. He's got several. He wrote dozens of them, not just the big epic novel. Slightly different versions of them than the ones from that we have, with updated, where he corrected a bunch of stuff. A lot of the issues with the 2003 script were fixed in the 2006 script, but we didn't use that one. We used the one that had the errors, and took liberties with the names, changed them, and put it. Now that Transformers is a big deal. I remember in the 90s it wasn't as big a deal because the Generation 2 didn't work. But then Beast Wars was shortly to come out, and there was a big thing on Transformers. Transformers relaunched from Beast Wars on to the Car Robot and all that other stuff on into the 2000s. There was a 2007 movie that launched at a billion-dollar industry thing. Transformers is still around, it's still big. By 2007, 2008, it was no longer a niche, nerdy thing. It was, you could go to Hot Topic and buy the shirts, you could buy the figures, toys, everything. It was like everywhere. They had 3 cartoon series over in Japan, and over here they had multiple new series. They had the Unicron trilogy, the movies and TV, and a new cartoon series came out every other year after that. They're still making them. Still making a cartoon series. The current one is a Netflix show. You might want to check that out, called the Transformers Siege, or for Cybertron, which has at least one of the original Mush people on it. Not from this story, but yeah. Also, if you want to catch the remnant of the Mush that's still out there doing blogs, Radio Free Cybertron is one of the original people. Radio Free Cybertron, and also Cybertron, S I think it is, and also TF 2005 is the Ready blog for all things Transformers. TF 2005, also put up by some of the people, I think Raksha and some others from the original Night Racer, and some other people, which is really cool. Yeah, so. Yeah, all these people are like now in their 40s and 50s, and they're like, look at the stuff we're doing up here with Transformers. Because as Go the Freaking Geek said, if you don't grow, you don't grow old, you stop playing, you grow old because you stop playing or something. you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing, as it is. Yeah, so I like the toys, yeah. Yeah, tformers.com is sort of a thing. I know that back during the Beast Wars era, there was a Bob Forward imitator. It wasn't him. That was interesting. There's also several Adabacons. I was Adabacon. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't figure that out. Yeah. And then there was Timinus and Jimticon. Marcus Cards really wasn't a character, although strangely enough, he was the other one that came on board for Transtech. The other two were in the background. Jimticon agreed to be some of the Decepticons in the new one and do some of the background stuff, but not to be in it a lot. Also Timinus, or Tim Control, he wanted to do the background stuff, like sets and things. All stemming from that awful art class we took years ago in 1990 or so, in which that snooty art lady didn't like our stuff. Well, I didn't like his stuff. He could have explained that he was a impressionist, and that he was doing his style to be vaguely impressionist and architecturally looking, and then he would have sounded really intelligent. Impression. I'm a pseudo-impressionist of a modernist, postmodernist era. Should have said that. But I didn't think of that until afterward. Whereas I was more like surrealist and weird and fantasy. But I could take his visual style and say like, oh, you want to make this look like, this is what it's going to look like. See, I could take this rather bland sort of cityscape and say like, well, this would look cool as a background matte painting on a planet. He's, oh yeah, it would. Oh. So it would become a matte painting planet. We designed the Beast Wars chamber, most of the Cybertron set, all the backgrounds on the original Trans Tech. It's Tim. It's literally Tim. It's like there he is. So he's famous fan film video series. That crazy art lady finds that someday. Wait a minute. Oh wow, he's actually. His artwork is actually all over the place in this Trans Tech thing. And the powers that be continue with the newer stuff. But there's clearly more influenced by K.O. Dan than Tim. Glossy, sort of metally looking things. And K.O. Dan's son has also inspired it. He's a kid, so we can't show that. But yeah, there's some signatures written in the background, typical of on the bridge. The bridge set. So yeah, they're still, yeah, and some of the Star Trek sets are reused in the Cybertron. So yeah, I decided to add that little bit just to make it sound more like it was more fun to have a 700th episode. And it is. Yeah. So. Anyway, I just decided to add that. 700 episodes. Over 700 more. Over the next 13 years. It's funny how people are becoming bloggers now when they weren't before. The thing is, though, we've been blogging even in high school. Like, way back before blogging was blogging. When blogging was audio recording ourselves acting silly on an audio machine. If we'd had realistic video cameras in the 80s, I mean, we kind of did. We had that clunky JVC one, which was destroyed in the beginning of the Kal Kat show. but yeah, we've had many video cameras, audio cameras. We've done silly things from a blog. People watch that. It doesn't, the AdSense stuff doesn't matter. We do it for fun. If that had started like back then and they aired those original comedy skits, probably wouldn't be that. They would probably wonder about me though. Those early comedy sketches are weird, but I don't think we can air them here now because some of them are raunchy and most of them don't make sense. But if you want a taste of that, go over to Freelance Kitty 14. Some of the song parodies are on that one. So, paste of some of that audio stuff. Also, whenever we do a New Year's special, it's pretty much the same thing as our New Year's comedy sketch from back in the day. Or On Location Cat. We pretty much, that's what we do. We do a New Year's special. We make fun of the TV as it's playing, do an SNL type of thing. More like improv, more like Linorama, but more like improv than Linorama. We'll talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit about acting for a second, I guess, just to ramble a little bit. The method acting episode of, and I know this is like 2 weeks ago now. It's like over a week ago now. Method acting. They were talking about it on. They were talking about it on Channel Awesome, on the Nostalgia Critic, and. The comment on there was, "Oh, Jim Carrey is a method actor. Or this other guy's a method actor," and they were trying to explain away Jim Carrey's technique as though he was a method actor who just likes playing goofy characters. But then they define him as just playing Jim Carrey as goofy characters. That means he's not a method actor. Jim Carrey's not a method actor. Jim Carrey is playing Jim Carrey in his movies. And when he plays bizarre Jim Carrey or angry Jim Carrey, he's still playing Jim Carrey. So, yeah, he's not a good example of a method actor. A good example of a method actor would have been Heath Ledger back in the day. It would have been Seymour Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman, yeah. The late Philip Seymour Hoffman. Late Robin Williams. Could play anything. Literally anything. Let's see. I guess De Niro and Hoffman, the other Huffman. Yes, De Niro was in that. Yeah, but he usually played angry guys, so he's kind of an angry guy. So, I don't know. Let's see. Woody Harrelson, kind of. Yeah, he could play different roles. He started out playing a nice sort of guy on Cheers, a homespun nice guy, and ended up later playing sort of cowboys and badasses and angry people. Robin Williams was the same way. He ended up playing comedy stuff early on and ended up playing darker characters later on, including a horrific photo guy in the photo thing. Bill Murray, I guess, kind of. Maybe not Bill Murray. Maybe a little bit. Adam Driver. Yeah. But not Hayden Christensen. The guy who played Christian Bale, definitely a method actor. He played different things. Joaquin Phoenix, he didn't play anything. He played all sorts of different things. So there's some examples of method actors. A method actor, by definition, is an actor who can play off type, who can play a character they're not, and do it so well you're convinced it's that character. Like, Christian Bale in Vice, playing someone off type, as opposed to him playing Batman or something else. To an extent, Affleck playing in Good Will Hunting and then later playing Batman. He's a completely different character. Or him playing in the, kind of, yeah. He's yeah. Quirky does not mean method actor. Quirky means quirky. It's different. Carrey's quirky. He's him and Owen Wilson and Will Ferrell and they're not method actors. No, they're just playing themselves. Alan Alda, back in the day, older actors. Michael Douglas. Yeah. Stuff like that. And Kirk Douglas. Yeah. As for the guy who played the newer Joker, they're saying Jared Leto. They were saying he was a method actor or a bad one. I'd say he's not either of those things. He's just playing himself. He's an angry, weird kind of guy, and he's playing somebody weird. It's like, okay, that's not method acting for you to play a weird guy and run around the set acting weird. That isn't method acting either. That's just being weird. You're playing the character you are. No, that's not work. That doesn't work. Samuel L. Jackson. I'm sure he's not really an angry mobster guy. In real life, he's probably not like that. So there's a few. So what is Kal Kat? I'm not a method actor here. No. I'm not a improv person. Improvisational improv stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna quote the late Van Phillips from the 90s. I was on the Evergreen College paper as a college student. He thought it was the Johnny Carson of the Flyer. So I would come in and do jokes and stuff. I wasn't trying to do Johnny Carson. He was an improv guy. I wasn't trying to do that, but I came off that way. It's the Johnny Carson. He was old. So Johnny Carson. It wasn't like Kathleen Brown a year and a half later going to the election thingy and she was a politician. She was speaking at San Jose State. And she was quoting David Letterman's top 10 list at San Jose State. And it wasn't like that, because she was not a good method actor. Yeah, we didn't care about, we were college students who were like 24. We didn't care about David Letterman. We weren't watching him. She did, because she was at the time 50 or so. Maybe late 40s. Maybe late 40s. I don't know. Maybe late 40s at the time. It would be like now if I was like going to a college and I said, in the late 40s, I'm going to go to a college and joke about like 80s rock music and stuff. They wouldn't get it. They would be like, what? What are you talking about, man? New Kids on the Block is old. They're like 60 now. You can jokes about New Kids on the Block. Boring. Oh, yeah. Michael Jackson. My dad listened to that. Eminem's still around. But, yeah. They were equating, I guess I'm rambling about that, but I was also thinking of the Man in the Moon song from the Andy Kaufman movie. Yes, Man in the Moon. There's a movie that could be. I think it's already been done though. That was a movie that was about where Jim Carrey actually played slightly off type. He played Andy Kaufman, who is way more kinetic a comedian than he is. He's copying his act basically. So he's really, really trying to do this Andy Kaufman goofy sort of thing, in the movie, and playing him kind of straight. Which actually was off type for him to be trying to do that. I'm trying to come off as this really, really kind of damaged dude that was trying to play a comedian. It was sort of like his answer to King of Comedy, which I didn't like. I didn't like King of Comedy. I did like Man on the Moon. I thought it was an excellent movie. He should have won the Oscar. Carrey should have won the Oscar for that. Not for method acting, but for playing Andy Kaufman. Because that was on point. That was good. Also, there was another King of Comedy called The Original Kings of Comedy, which didn't have anybody from the old era in it at all. And it isn't just like the Charlie Brown people pointing that out. The Charlie Brown spoof. It isn't just Most Offensive Video pointing it out, going like, well, why wasn't Rudy Ray Moore, wasn't Dolomite in it? Like, yeah, why wasn't he? He was still around then. Wasn't Rudy Ray Moore in there? Yeah, why wasn't Richard Pryor, who was still around, in there? Why is Eddie Murphy still around in there? He's still around now. Yeah, it's like none of them were in it. It was Cedric the Entertainer. It was D.R. Hughley. It was Bernie Mac and one other dude. Bernie Mac from Transformers. Yeah, that guy. Who is now dead. The late Bernie Mac. Who was not a method actor. He was a comedian. He was pretty straight on what he was up to. But it was like, oh, I'm going to make a fart joke now. My fart joke. Ooh. The other guy with the donuts, that was another guy. That was somebody else. Yes, but look for Star Trek Picard coming on Thursday and the cameo. Anyway, so next, that's it for the 700th episode. Like and subscribe to the Kal Kat channel. We don't have a Patreon, so you can't support us on Patreon. I wouldn't ask for that kind of donation or anything. And it hasn't come to that yet. But yes.